Hey, guys. Altavis Pelzer here, your voice manager, coming to you with another episode of the Speakeasy podcast, where we talk about what it means to be the successfully paid speaker or author, and this episode is canceled. No. No, the episode is not canceled, but what we're going to be talking about is canceled. Right now, there is a huge flow of things going on when it comes to live events. They're being canceled. And as a speaker and an author, that directly affects your revenue. It directly affects you, but there's some ways for you to be able to bounce back. And so we're going to be talking about that in today's episode. Make sure that you leave us a review, bit.ly/Speakeasy Podcast Show. We want to know, have you had to cancel an event this year because of the coronavirus? If so, we want to add you to the conversation. With that being said, again, leave us a review or come and chat with us over in the World Voice League community. With that being said, let's dive into today's topic. Okay, guys, so I was scrolling. You guys know I do a lot of research. And of course, going through, Twitter, going through Facebook, going through the news, and seeing all of these events being canceled. And canceling an event is an event host's nightmare. Like, it's a nightmare. You have to think. You have to refund tickets. You have to, think about it. People bought flights that can't necessarily be refunded or changed, or they have to put out a fee in order for them to change their flights. People went and got babysitters. There's a whole host of things that come with canceling an event. And it's all right now due to the coronavirus. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole epidemic of what's going on with the coronavirus. That's not what this particular podcast is about. But I do want to talk to you guys because I know that this directly affects your revenue. If you're supposed to be doing an event and it's canceled, that's money out of your budget. That's money that you possibly spent on a ticket, on renting a vehicle, on so many things. And companies are not acting in integrity, even though this is what's going on. And so that's one of the things that I want to really cover in this episode is that this is when you're really going to see who has integrity and who doesn't. Real talk. The NBA canceled the rest of the season. The NBA, guys, because a player tested positive for the coronavirus. Tom Hanks is in quarantine because he tested positive for the coronavirus. Like, it's become this pandemic. But when we think about canceling events, the economy suffers. But as the speaker and the author, you don't have to suffer. Now, I know that's probably opposite of what many other people are telling you right now, right? Because they're telling you, oh my goodness, run for the hills. Oh my goodness, buy Lysol and hand sanitizer. But I want to talk to you from the business perspective as an author and speaker that this is okay. It's not a good thing, but it's okay. And why do I say that? I say that because if you're an author or speaker, then this is your time of being able to flip it and reverse it. And so things that you were doing in person, you can most definitely do online. And the problem comes in is that many people are fearful of going to online. But e-commerce is such a huge market and you're missing it. And in this time where events are being canceled, guess what? That same speech that you were going to give, you can go and gather up and do a virtual event and give that same speech and still convert and still make money and think about it. This is what you can actually do. It's doable, guys. Platforms like Zoom and StreamYard and all these other ones that are out here that allow you to stream to Facebook groups. And man, you have so many opportunities and options. But I'm going to tell you where it's really going to get you kind of thrown for a loop. is if you go live and you're simply not giving content. Like, real talk. You're going live, you're not giving content, you're not sharing something that's valuable to your potential connections and friends and followers, or you're not engaging and building engagement. And so one of the ways that you can best build engagement is if you have support, community. So what communities are you a part of that you can go and offset what's been going on with this whole cancellation thing that's sweeping the nation? And in no actuality, it's sweeping the world. I mean, some major events, guys, have really canceled their events. And then what does that mean for other entities? So I even saw people on Facebook talking about how this is going to impact churches, but churches have kind of made that leap to live streaming and made that leap to online tithing and authoring and all that thing. And so it's crazy because even when I think about my kids are in high school. My youngest 3 are in high school, and they received letters this week where they had to, they received a contract or a statement contract. I guess you can call it a contract, that if the school closed, that they would do schoolwork online. And there's a whole system that they have set up. I mean, they have it like it's set up perfectly. But it made me think, wow. So we're in a season where even schools may have to utilize an online platform. So why, as the speaker or the author, are you scared to use an online platform? Like, now is not the time for you to say that Facebook is messy. No, the people you hang around is messy. Oh, that part. The people you hang around are messy. So it's not that the platform itself is messy. Yes, every platform is going to have its kinks. It's going to have its things that change up and switch out. And you can do it one day and then the next day you can't. All of those things. But when we think about the strategy and the foundation, guys, a canceled live event is not the end of the world. It's just not. Well, it's not anymore. But at one point, it would have been the end of the world for a lot of people. They would have completely went back. There are people that have went bankrupt canceling an event. Can we talk about Fire Festival? Can we go back to Fire Festival? An event that should have been canceled, but wasn't? There's devastation on either side. Like doing an event that should have been canceled or having to cancel an event. Either way, this is long. Like this, the effects of this is going to affect how so many people handle 2020. And it's crazy because people are canceling events that are months away from now. Like, they haven't even just canceled, like, events that are happening in this month. They're canceling events that are months away because of the effects of this. Bananas. So I really need you guys to look at the full scale of this. You are an entrepreneur. So now it's time for you to pull up your big boy drawers and your big girl drawers and get to work. Don't change the destination. Change the strategy. I feel like I'm your podcast GPS system this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, whenever you may be catching this. I'm your podcast GPS. Rerouting. Rerouting. So now, in thinking of a strategy, man, this is something that I've talked to my audience about so many different ways. When it comes to you as an author or speaker, is your voice being heard? Are you managing your voice in such a way that a canceled live event does not cancel the money that you were supposed to make? Catch that. Are you utilizing and managing your voice in such a way that a canceled live event does not cancel your revenue? It does not cancel your budget. I've been there, where if something happened and I couldn't make it to an event last minute, that completely devastated me. Heck, I can give you an example where I had a book launch, and it was, the book launch was supposed to be really amazing, book cover done, and we went and had the editing done, and it wasn't done properly. So the book was launched with all of these errors. I mean, not just the regular errors. Now, as an author, you guys know that every book has some errors in it. It's a part of it. But I mean some really bad edits, guys. Like, horrible. Half of a poem was missing. Like, some really bad stuff. And so I went and I was just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And so I ended up canceling events. That completely shifted my whole budget for that year. It shifted it dramatically. Because events alone bring in a good amount of money. Not just the event sale tickets, live stream tickets, conversion into a bigger program. There was the potential for an amazing amount of money. But I canceled the events because they weren't going to line up in the way that we needed it to line up. And I wanted to make sure that this book was fixed. It has taken me almost a year, guys, to fix the editing in this book. A year. Crazy, right? A year. And it also made me go back and look and say, wow, I pulled back in the right time. Wow, I looked at the different events that I wanted to do, and I pulled back because this is where we are. And this was before the coronavirus was the reason why people were canceling events. The events get canceled for so many different reasons. So do you have your strategy? Do you have your backup plan? If not, you need to get on the phone with somebody that can help you put some things on paper. Because right now, if you're not creating a strategy for you to build revenue on and offline, an event like the shutdown or being canceled, a live event being canceled, could put you in the hole. It can set you back a couple thousand, tens of thousands, especially depending on how big the event was. Imagine, some of these events are huge, guys. I mean, they said thousands and thousands of people. Now, that also takes me back to the integrity piece. There are some events that are being canceled that you just like out of luck. Not many, thankfully. But there's others where they cancel the event and then they're setting you up so you can go ahead and attend the event when they do it next year. They made the event online. Hello, virtual. They made the event a virtual event, so you can attend virtually, which is great. And, they have some other little things that they're doing to accommodate people. When canceling an event, whether it's your fault or it's not, you have to take responsibility. That hurts some people. But you have to take responsibility because that canceled event is attached to your name. Like, it's almost along the same lines as, they say the customer's always right. Well, no, the customer's not always right, but the customer is still the customer. And if you want them to continue to be a customer, then you do what's necessary in order to make sure that the customer is satisfied. The customer's not always right, but you want to make sure that the customer is satisfied. So with that being said, when canceling these events, are they making sure that the customers, the attendees, the vendors, are all of these people satisfied at the end of the day? Keep your eyes peeled on this one, guys. This will tell you some real deep down realities about what it means to see an event from idea to launch to completion, and then that time where you sit down and you kind of just focus on looking at it in a whole. That part is so valuable. So I need you to have this understanding. So with that being said, it made me think about a couple new programs that I'm putting in place. Super excited about that. We even did a voice manager program for authors. This is actually going to be the perfect time for this program to launch, because this is the perfect time for people to be able to look at different avenues and revenues, that part. Avenues to go down for them to achieve more revenue, that part. It's definitely a great time to look at that and really sit down and see if your strategy is one that will bring you success. With that being said, I appreciate you guys. This is another episode of the Speak Easy podcast, where we go behind the scenes and talk about what it means to be the successfully paid speaker or author, with your host, Altavis Pelzer, your voice manager. With that being said, guys, until next time, be safe, be healthy, be blessed, and don't forget to press it out. See ya.